Yo, Matt Heininger here talking some Carolina Panther football. Now, I wasn't one to talk about the Panthers much, my time down at UNC Wilmington, but you know what? The Panthers straight up earned the respect of myself and a lot of people across the country. Now, I know, Panther Nation in Wilmington, in Raleigh, Charlotte, wherever you guys are, you're all hyped up and whatnot, and you should be. But I'm here to tell you why you should be even more hyped up than you already are. Because the thing with the Carolina Panthers, the thing that impressed me the most, the thing that impressed America the most, is that this is a football team that hasn't really been relevant in 5 years. They haven't really been relevant since they lost that playoff game at home to the Arizona Cardinals. If you remember, Jake Delhomme threw 5 picks in that game. But it's basically been 5 years of break your heart, losing in the final seconds, really not even being in the wild card race in December. So it's been a tough couple years for the Panthers. Jimmy Clausen, David Carr, Matt Moore, and then it's been Cam Newton. And Cam Newton's been the ultimate love-hate relationship. Guy puts up stats, guy makes great plays, but he wasn't winning. The Panthers were losing games. And you know what? Obviously, there's a lot more in football than just the quarterback. But let's be honest here. In today's NFL, that's what it's all about. You don't got a quarterback making plays. You take your statistics and do whatever you want with them. Go play fantasy football. But that's not what gets it done on the field. And these last 2 games for Carolina, they're not just 2 wins. They're 2 franchise changers, regime changers. In Cam Newton's case, franchise quarterback label changers. No one thought the Panthers were going into San Francisco winning that game. Even the most diehard Panther fan, if you really thought they were going into San Francisco, a team that was hot, that had won a couple games in a row, and winning, you're not being honest with yourself. That was a huge, huge win by the Panthers. So that, you know what? Coming into last night's game, I was like, the Panthers can lose. They've already got their big win. Your goal was to win 1 out of those 2 games. That's all you needed. You can't get greedy. I figured the Panthers were playing with house money, going up against a New England team coming off a bye week, a New England team, that's used to these Monday night football games, the big stage, nationally televised, all that stuff. And the Panthers haven't really been used to that moment. So for them to come out tonight and play the way they did, Cam Newton outplaying Tom Brady, Cam Newton having an unbelievable drive at the end, converting crucial third down after crucial third down. Now in the stat book, it doesn't look great. Every third down conversion isn't a touchdown pass. Whatever. They're not 50 yards, not highlights on SportsCenter. But you know what? Those are the plays that change a season. The thing about the NFL that's really funny when you think about it, and people don't think about this, the difference between being a 6-10 football team and a 10-6 football team comes down to 4 or 5 plays in a season. An entire season, 17 weeks, training camp, the off season, the draft, the whole grind. What determines if you were a playoff team is 4 or 5 plays in a year. Because think about how many, and Panther fans should know that better than anybody, all the close games they lost. So be proud of your quarterback because he stepped up big time. You know what? A lot of people, they praise Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson, which they should. Those guys are lights out. A lot of guys now are backing off in their praise of RG3 and Colin Kaepernick, realizing that, without the read option, those guys are struggling. They're struggling throwing the football. They're struggling to carry their teams. Cam Newton was often forgotten in that conversation because of all the losing, because he wasn't playing in big games, and because when he was in tight games, whether it was his fault or not, the Panthers always seemed to lose. Now Cam Newton, even though we all know who he was, won a national championship, won a Heisman Trophy, first overall pick in the draft, but now he's elevating himself to that national stage. And that's a special thing. And that's something the Panther fans should be very excited about. And I'll be honest, I still don't know about Ron Rivera. I don't know if he's a big-time coach. If the Panthers do make the playoffs, which it looks like they will, he'll probably be 12 out of 12 when you rank the coaches that are in the NFL postseason. But you know what? That's not important right now. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. when Rivera, he has to make a big call in a big playoff game or whatnot. We'll worry about that later. So he's done a great job. 11-3 in his last 14 games. That's an unbelievable statistic when you consider, when the Panthers started off 1-3 this year, it was basically a guarantee that he was going to be fired. There was really no debate. That was early. I mean, people were just wondering if he was going to get fired over the bye week, if he was even going to make it to, the midway point of the season. Now he's setting this team up to do big things. And you know what? I'm impressed. A lot of people are impressed, and they should be, because the Carolina Panthers winning these 2 games can't understate how impressive it was and how important it was for this franchise. And we'll see where they go from here. This is Matt Heiniger. Good job, Panthers.